Alright, here's my 2012 Hyundai Azera, and the airbag light is on. And when the airbag light is on, that means the airbags don't work. Okay, here's all the tools I use to do the job. Start off with, we need a 5mm Allen wrench and a very small screwdriver, a 10mm crescent for the battery terminals. We need a Phillips head and a flathead screwdriver, and a 22mm socket here on a very, very long breaker bar because, boy, I mean, I need it long. And then also, to counteract the force of the steering wheel, I have a 24-inch crescent wrench here. And we need a OBD scanner that can do airbag. They call them SRS for the restraint system. And you definitely need one of these to clear the codes. And another thing I had was a magic marker, optional, I guess, and a triangle, a little optional too. And I'm going to click airbag. Let's read the code. And of course I have the code B1346. Go to live data. See right there where it says DAB first resistance, that's my driver airbag, and it's at 11 ohms, and that's really bad. And here's an interesting thing. I'm going to turn the wheel now. Let's see how it says fail, 12 ohms, fail, oops. Well, anyway, turning the wheel changes the resistance considerably. Well, here's the new Clockspring assembly I got. I made a mistake and actually bought the old one previously, so now I've got the correct one. We'll take a look at this thing. And the main thing that we see here is it has the blue and the yellow connector on there, and then it has instructions. So basically, is what they're saying here is you turn it all the way one way until it comes to the end, and then you turn it back 2.9 turns to put it in the center. Now, I was told that when you buy these things, they're already centered. So if you don't play with it, it'll already be centered. Whenever you work on the electrical system of a car, it's always a smart idea to remove the negative terminal of the battery. I used a 10mm wrench here and make sure that thing's disconnected. This is the steering wheel. Let's look on the back, and we can see that there's a little hole here for a Phillips head, a big huge hole going in sideways, and another hole here going in the back. We had a little Phillips head in there. So we're going to leave those two little Phillips head in there, and this big hole in the middle, we can kind of, let's just make sure I got that on camera. This big hole in the middle, we have a 5mm Allen key. We put it in there, we take out this screw. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, the airbag is loose right now. Let me show you what's going on in here. You can see this nut, oops, see that little screw right there? That's the one that I've got the 5mm Allen key on. And of course you just unscrew the 5mm Allen key, and this thing just pops right out. So anyway, we got this thing loose. Let's see what's on the back. And you can kind of see how there's those two yellow connectors and all those, and we can kind of see what's going on. Okay, I got my finger on the Clockspring thing. Okay, let me show you these two connectors here. You can see how there's this orange clip on there. Apparently that's a lock. And you pry that up, and these things should come off. Well, let's give it a try. I'm afraid to do it on camera, because you're always asking, it's always a disaster when you try to do these things on camera. Oh, there it goes, comes right off. Okay, this one. Oh yeah, comes right off. And they're color coded, one's yellow and one's blue. And I'm trying to get the nut off that holds the steering wheel, and you know, just holding on the steering wheel and turning, I just can't do that. So I got something really long to kind of hook in down the bottom, and I got something really long to turn the nut, and we'll see how this goes. When you got the right tools, this is an easy job, but you need some really long tools. So this is a 22mm nut, You can see there's a little lock washer in there. Okay, my steering wheel, I make sure it's perfectly straight. And then I took a square here and made sure to draw a vertical line just in case, so I make sure that I can reassemble this thing exactly pointed straight. Okay, I did some wiggling and pulling. I managed to get this thing loose. It wasn't too bad. And now we undo this connector, and you see there's a little clip on the bottom. You just press that little clip, and then that unlocks it and it pulls out of the clock spring. Okay, now that we got the steering wheel off, we can see the clock spring. You can kind of see it rotates very easily here. Try not to get that thing out of alignment. And we just got to take off this plastic housing to get to the clock spring. We can see there's a screw here and a screw here. Now I'm going to start with taking those off. At the bottom here, we can see there's another screw that needs to be taken off. Now that the 3 screws are done, this thing's kind of loose, and then it kind of separates. And the thing to look at is you can see that there's a clip right there. So you push it on the top. There's a clip right here. Okay, good. Clip right there and clip right there. So you push it at the top and you separate this thing, and then it all comes apart. The clock spring out. I just wanted to show you on the new clock spring what's going on over here. You can see there's a little clip at the top that kind of clips off. You can see there's a clip on the side and that kind of goes down. A little clip on the side that kind of goes down. And then here's the connectors in the back. So it looks like it's just held in there with 3 clips. So let's give it a try. There's this little clip here. We just push down on it. You can kind of see my fingers on it. Click on the clip on the top. We pull up on it. And this clip on the side here, we pull down on it. And the clock spring just needs to be unplugged on the connectors in the back, and then we can replace it. Pretty simple. These connectors off is pretty easy. This white one's just a standard thing where you press on the bottom with your thumb and it unlocks it. The lock on this yellow one's a little bit more complicated. Hard to do with just one hand. But this little thing, you can see there's a little ridge right in my finger. As you're pushing on that, oh, there it is. There it goes. So that's the lock. You pull it back, and that unlocks it. Lock spring just snaps into place. Make sure you hear the 3 clicks on the 3 different clips. Now remember, I told you about this thing about, like it says, go all the way over to the end and then go back 2.9 turns. Well, we don't need to do that because in the factory, this thing's centered. You see this yellow clip? This clip here keeps it in center so it doesn't rotate. So as long as you received your unit with this clip fully intact, it should be aligned with no problems. And we'll take this clip off in a second and put the steering wheel back on, reassemble everything, clear the codes, and then we'll be done. Okay, I'm assembling in reverse order and making sure to get this baby tight. So boy, I'm sure glad I had a giant 24-inch wrench. Here we go, we're putting in the wires. I just push these things in there and press the locking clips, and make sure you get the wire properly routed inside this thing, and press it down and it latches and locks. I hooked up my SRS OBD tool, and I'm doing the live data mode. And remember the DAB first resistance was like 11 ohms, and now it's only 2.9 ohms. So let me turn the wheel. I don't see any changes here. Everything's good, but I still have the airbag light on. So I'm going to clear the codes and hopefully the light will go off. So let me just click, let's see, back. Let's go up to where it says erase codes. Click enter. Click yes. Yes. Okay. And let's go back up to where it says read codes. No faults found. Okay. So we'll see here. This thing still shows. Let me just turn it off. Now let me just turn it back on again. Still shows a code here. Oh no, it's gone. Okay, the code is gone. It's all fixed. Okay, wonderful. Little clock spring. I just started to take it apart, and you can see it's a big coil flex. Got some grease in there. And then, oh, that kind of rotates around. Kind of see how it rotates around when you pull on it. I don't know, it's not what I was expecting to see inside there, but well, that's a little interesting. The light's gone, everything is good.